Welcome to AstroTea, everyone. So glad to see you all. This is your weekly astro forecast and survival guide to the stars. So thank you all. Thank you to all our OG Astro fam. Thank you to all our newbies for joining us while we take a closer look at the transits and cosmic energy of the week ahead. And we have some amazing products like the AstroTea Journal and Astro Calendar to help empower you on your unique journey of divine alignment with nature. So just click on the available links if you have not already and sign up for the email list to join the tea party and get all the exclusive sips. We absolutely love Clubhouse for all of the amazing souls that we've been able to connect with and for being the first platform that AstroTea started on. And as we continue to grow and expand according to our visions for AstroTea, starting on June 25th, which is next week Sunday, or this week Sunday actually coming up, YouTube and Instagram, along with all streaming platforms for our podcast, will become the only destinations for your weekly cosmic forecast. So this is the very last live Clubhouse episode that we will be doing. So very, very monumental day today, and I'm just so glad that so many of you were able to join us literally right on time. That just speaks to, divine timing. So you'll be able to find us on YouTube and Instagram and on our podcast, but this will be the last day that we do the live on Clubhouse. We'll still be present, but you'll find us over there for the forecast. As we migrate from Clubhouse, we're so excited about all we have in store for everything that's in store for AstroFam, and we invite you all to connect with us on YouTube and Instagram so that you don't miss a single brew, right? Subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel to continue getting all the astro, tarot, and tea this powerful astrological year. And I'm like fumbling over my words because it's like hitting me at the same time that I'm saying it. So we love you all, and let's get this cosmic tea brewing. Hey Soul, any comments?
I'm just so grateful, and we were very intentional about this as we go into Cancer season. So it'll be like the last Sunday before Cancer season. We started to think about like, what does an expansion of community mean for us? How can we expand our resources and our time to really be able to build community intentionally? So we'll still be on Clubhouse. We're going to announce soon what that looks like, of how we're still going to be able to build community and a lot more interactive spaces as well with our communities. Because AstroTea, we appreciate that y'all come to listen to us, give the tea. So definitely, I've linked the YouTube to the top of the room, and it's also in the room chat as well. So it's just youtube.com/AstroTea, right? We're grateful that we were able to get that username. I don't know how it was not available, but Spirit had it for us. So super, super easy to remember, just AstroTea on YouTube, and you'll see that purplish, orange, pinkish background like that. Those colors that are in our pinned link, our videos have those colors as well, so you'll easily be able to find us. So we'll start with tomorrow, June 19th, with this Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth to everybody who celebrates. And so we have Jupiter in Taurus, sextile Saturn retrograde in Pisces. So this is going to be happening at 7 degrees. Jupiter will be at 7 degrees Taurus, sextile Saturn retrograde at 7 degrees Pisces. So the energy of this week is really starting off very supportive and accountable with the sextile between Jupiter, the planet of expansion and benevolence, and then Saturn, the planet of responsibility and discipline. So we're called to think about, what does a balanced life of work, fun, and spiritual fulfillment look like for us, right? Uniquely, right? What does that really look like in practice, in application, in a balanced way? And because this Libra degree is about making sure that the scales are even as we're creating a system, right? As we're creating an institution, especially with Saturn retrograde in Pisces being in the 9th house of the sun. A lot of like a big 9th house theme are institutions, right? Whether institutions of higher learning, institution of worship, institutions of the court. So I was like, what is an institution, right? Because Spirit put that that word in my heart. Like, we're creating an institution of trust with the universe. So I was like, what is an institution? And it's an established law, practice, or custom. So we can build our own institutions as well, our own internal institutions of laws that we abide by, practices, customs, a relationship, right? How do we institutionalize our relationship of trust with spirit and with the universe, while also still being accountable stewards of what talents are within our control with this Jupiter and Taurus, right? Like, our relationship with spirit is always going to grow. Like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to put this in spirit's hands. I'm going to just trust. I'm going to just flow. But in the meantime, I'm going to also be accountable for what is within my sphere of control, right? So we have an opportunity here to build a deeper sense of spiritual authenticity with Saturn retrograde in the 9th house of the sun. And I think some of us, we need to, like, myself included, right? We need to recalibrate our spiritual GPS, because we're a little bit aimless with the spiritual goals and spiritual principles that we are living by. Like, I think ambiguity is always going to be a part of life, but like, it's important for us as we make decisions and want to feel good about them. We want to feel aligned. We want to feel a sense of trust and safety with our capacity to make good decisions, right? It's important to get clarity. Like, what are our spiritual goals? What feels in spiritual alignment? What feels outside of spiritual alignment? So we might find today that when we let spirit lead, right, because we've built an institution of trust, trusting spirit gives us an air of confidence, and people notice the trust and the respect that we have for ourselves. And it proves to be an attractive quality. People want more of that. People want to sustain something like that. They want to invest in something like that. Like, damn, they know their shit, you know, they're confident. They have the facts to back it up. They know who they are, right? They're here and they're aligned. They're not rushing. They're not nervous. They're not anxious, because they're present and they're in the right place at the right time. So overall, this is a really great day for long-term decision making, creating a realistic routine that works for you, right? And then saying yes to prosperous opportunities that feel integral and aligned with your values. So we'll talk about that a little bit more, actually, about just opportunities coming up and our willingness to say yes to them. But I think on this day, especially if you have off tomorrow, like, take some time, right? If you're starting off the week a little bit slow, like, take that extra time to really sit down and say, like, what does a routine of joy and accountability look like to me, so that I can experience all of those things as much as I can on a consistent basis. So that's what I have for Monday's energy. What does this look like in the tarot, Empress?
That was really beautiful. I love a few of the things you said, especially about the institution of trust with the universe. I think that's so key. And the way to getting that is through the spiritual goals and principles that we have, like you mentioned. So it's definitely coming into that space where we have that consistent set of spiritual goals and principles that we live by, and having that long-term decision-making ability right now, especially when it comes to our spirituality and how we want to commit to, with the Hierophant here, long-term time and energy to that. So really appreciate that you mentioned that for today's transit, and definitely see that as well. So Monday, June 19th, with Jupiter in Taurus, sextile Saturn retrograde in Pisces. In the tarot, we have the Wheel of Fortune in the Hierophant and King of Pentacles energy, sextiling the World in the reverse in the Moon and Knight of Cups. And we can all feel that the time we are in is calling to us on a subconscious level to stabilize ourselves in something, so that we can stand our ground and protect what is most valuable to us. And each of our divine feminine is gaining confidence at this time. Divine feminine energy is rising, right? The pendulum is now swinging back. Okay. And so now the divine feminine is gaining confidence in expression, in inner knowing. So being able to notice more determination in sharing your creativity, being social this Gemini season with others, embracing your spirituality and respecting your divine feminine energy enough to actually focus on bringing in structure and discipline to support your current position, and continue doing that inner work right now. is being focused on. With the fire trine happening today, this is going to keep your eyes on your plan right now, and knowing how everything that you want to spend time on is just helping you. I think coming into today's energy, we're definitely going to feel that sense of, literally, as you said, coming into bonding soul, with that ability to align our strengths. Today's forecast, we have a chance to make positive behavioral habits that are tied to an increase in financial opportunities with the Taurus energy we have here. With the world in the reverse, in the energy of the moon, this is underlying emotions that are being highlighted in your life right now. We had an emotional week this week. The new moon in Gemini is today. Happy new moon, everyone. And so with the world in the reverse, in the energy of the moon, on Monday, on a moon day, underlying emotions that are being highlighted in your life right now may be causing restrictions and boundaries between you with this Saturn energy and your freedom. This is bringing up our own self-limiting beliefs about how the world actually works, and how traditional approaches to money didn't teach us about how important emotional state is when we're looking to gain abundance this lifetime in the physical reality. This moon day, information that was once hidden with this moon card here, that affected your emotional feelings about money, is going to be revealed and provide an opportunity to experience a shift in your perspective and luck with the Wheel of Fortune. Information regarding the world economy and new financial systems can also be announced today. And I'm getting as well, looking at the cards with the Hierophant and the moon, that information about a spiritual leader or pastor may be revealed, especially as it relates to finances and leadership of others. But all types of conversations and communication about money, finances, and abundance are striking an emotional chord today with this sextile. So this is a good day to remember that you create your abundance, and you can change your creations with your emotion and your intent. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing for today's transit. Let's get into Tuesday, soul.
So moving on to Tuesday, June 20th, this is a little intense, right? We kind of cranking up the energy a little bit. We have the moon in Cancer opposing Pluto retrograde in Capricorn on Tuesday, June 20th. And this is happening at 29 degrees, which is a Leo degree. So we'll have the moon at 29 degrees Cancer opposing Pluto retrograde at 29 degrees Capricorn. So we're feeling some type of way on Tuesday for sure, right? And things have the potential to get a little ugly, right? This goes back to the conversation that we had last week about control, right? We had the moon in Taurus, and remember that the moon is exalted in Taurus, right? We had it trine Pluto retrograde in Capricorn last week. So now we have the moon at home opposing Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. So it's like bringing up that energy in a much more intense and abrasive and potentially like emotionally triggering way, and in a way that triggers our drive to defend ourselves, right? Or defend the people that we care about. So this energy speaks to potential blockages or unwillingness when it comes to aligning with new opportunities and beginnings. We're holding on to so much emotionally because it's going to provide security, it provides us familiarity and comfort, but it's not helping us grow, right? It's not empowering us to transform to the next level, which is whether this is a way of thinking, whether this is an addiction or a habit or a relationship or an environment, or whatever we have as a security blanket, right, in our life, whatever is kind of, we're using it for that familiar feeling rather than, Cancer and Capricorn are both cardinal signs, right? Something should be initiated from this space. Something should be created from this space, right? Especially with Pluto retrograde, something should be transformed from the creation, right? Through the creation of something new. So we may be consciously or unconsciously refusing new opportunities, either explicitly by saying no, like, "Ooh, I don't feel ready for that. I don't feel ready to initiate that. I don't feel worthy of that. I don't feel like I'm the right person, or I'm good enough to say yes to this new opportunity," right? This new adventure. Or through our demeanor, right? Or through our lifestyle or our decision making. It's like, okay, yeah, they're definitely not ready or open for these kinds of opportunities. Look at the way that they live, right? They're late. They are disorganized. They are unaccountable. They are, again, committed to comfort over growth, right? Whether through explicitly saying no or through just our demeanor and our choices, we're giving off like, I'm not ready for this level of evolution, right? So also Capricorn, I was reflecting on us as well, right? As Capricorns, it's an energy that can hyperfixate on external tangible results. And I love that about us, right? It's like, I'm not gonna rest until the damn thing is built, until I've climbed the entire mountain, until I can't see the top because I'm at the top. All I can see is down and everything that I've climbed, right? Otherwise it doesn't matter, or otherwise I failed, or otherwise I'm not there yet, right? So we can tend to hyperfixate on external tangible results. But with Pluto retrograde being in the 8th house of the sun, it's like some of the beautiful results of our work are kind of like hidden to us. They're in the background, they're dormant, right? They have started to build this really thick, strong network of roots underground, but it hasn't sprouted yet, right? But we can't let our confidence and our faith in our ability to manifest waver just because we don't see the castles of our hard work built up just yet, right? It's like, give it time. Capricorn's ruled by Saturn, right? Give it time. Diamonds take time. It takes time to form it and mold it and build it through that much pressure and time, right? So we can't rush. We can't feel like, oh my God, I don't see it, so it's not there, so I'm not good enough, so I'm not worthy, so I shouldn't say yes to these new opportunities, right? It's feelings of worthiness and competence are coming up on a day like today. Do I feel worthy of these abundant opportunities? Can I really pull this off? Am I competent enough to do this well, to execute this? And this Leo degree is indicating that there's some sort of pride or ego that's attached to our self-worth or the process of yielding results that makes it even harder for us to just simply start. Like, we might be afraid of looking badly or being embarrassed, right? And that's adding that much more pressure for us to just even get started. And lastly, this is very specific, but I was getting this very clearly. Someone may have found out recently that they're pregnant, and it was very sudden or just unexpected, or obviously, right, a big thing to consider. And you may have already started to think about how your finances and your spending habits need to kind of change. You need to initiate something completely new in the way that you're currently spending money, in order to level up and be that much more intentional, focused, and committed financially, in order to really support and provide for your family financially, of course, but also have the resources to nurture them emotionally, right? Give them access to therapy or good schools or great daycares or things like that, and then also empower them developmentally, right? Nurturing their hobbies and their talents and their skills and things like that. Like, I think if it came as a surprise, it's like, okay, wow, like there's a lot of work for me to do financially to really be a great provider for my family. So I think Cancer season with Venus currently being in Leo and the sun moving into Cancer, there's a lot of questions that's going to come up for how to be what does it mean to be a great parent in terms of like providing and nurturing your children's skills and gifts and capabilities. So we'll continue this conversation as the sun continues to go through Cancer, but this was like very specific for someone, so I had to bring that up. So Empress, what are you getting for Tuesday with the moon in Cancer and Pluto?
Yeah, I 100% agree. Definitely going deeper with the family dynamic. And we'll get into that, of course, on Wednesday. So for Tuesday, June 20th, we have the moon in Cancer opposing Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. And in the tarot, this is the Two of Cups opposing Judgment and the Devil and Queen of Pentacles energy. And so the collective is more obviously split at this point. And we have those that are welcoming in a new world, new energy level that the earth is emitting at this time. And there are those that still trust and seem to follow the instructions of societal structures that are fighting this new world and wish to keep the shackles with this devil card around everyone's necks to maintain power and control. And not making a decision is making a decision right now, in other words. Like I said, with a more obvious split going on globally right now, the ground is literally cracking in a line between your feet. And we have to pick a side. And I love what you were just mentioning about the mountain, and like you want to keep going until you don't see any more mountain because you're at the top, and it's kind of like the mountain is cracking in half and you either have to choose to go back down or you go back up. It's like it's cracking at that one spot for us where we have to decide, okay, are we gonna keep going up until we can't see any more mountain anymore because we're at the top of it and it's just sky now? Or are we gonna step back because, like you mentioned, we're afraid of our power, we're afraid of stepping into that position, we're afraid of potentially nurturing our children or being in a family dynamic because we don't feel prepared. But not making a decision is a decision. So with the Two of Cups, once you choose a side, that's when you can align with others in the world that are on the same side as you. And things can progress to celebrations and creations together, like the Two of Cups ascends to the Three of Cups in the tarot. So particularly in relationships today, with today's forecast, it's kind of like it's us against the issue with this opposition. We have the Two of Cups, and then on the other side, there's Judgment in reverse and the Devil and Queen of Pentacles together. So all relationships you are in right now, you should be able to have a better level of communication and see each other as allies when challenges arise. Thinking about all the work, because the Lover's card is the major arcana representation of Gemini. So all Gemini season, and then Taurus as well, we have the two energy. So like we've had to face relationship dynamics, polarity for like at least a couple seasons in a row right now. And so how do you find the communication between you and loved ones? How do you find the communication between you and children? How do you think about these dynamics with loved ones? Because during Cancer season, it's just going to intensify whatever energy you have been working on, or more blatantly expose what is behind that hard exterior crab shell. Okay, so just thinking about that. If you're sharing your emotions with anyone at this time and then not responding as an ally and actively wanting to find the solution with you, if they're not responding as that person that will say, okay, it's us against the issue, they could be an op with this opposition. Okay, literally, because Cancer and Capricorn are standing on opposite sides of the circle. Some people see when you're learning from lessons, they see when you're doing the emotional work and working on having more emotional maturity, and they enjoy testing you and disrupting your vibration. We have to realize during this spiritual warfare, during this time, as much as a lot of us are being called to share our light and share our gifts and talents, there are gifts and talents that help to maintain that both sides of the balance, both sides of the scale. And so there's an increase on both sides. And so there are people that are just not going to be happy for you all the time. That can be your family. They can be as close as your family. They can be as close as, just loved ones. Okay, and so some of us in the collective may be deciding on a relationship with the Two of Cups when you've had enough time to make a decision. Like I said before, not deciding is deciding. So on this day, we're all being faced with our negligence when it comes to decision making and whether our communication with others in relationships has improved, whether it can improve or will ever make real improvement because you've chosen different sides. Understanding which one that is for you in your situation. And with the sun entering Cancer tomorrow, what have you learned this Gemini season? This is also the last day of Gemini season. So what have you learned this Gemini season about communication, specifically with the ones you love? Because it's the Lover's card. Does it logically make sense to continue in the relationship given what you've learned during Gemini season? Do you want to have victory in a relationship with this person? Or is there too much with this devil energy, toxicity, too much addiction, corruption, and power dynamics with the devil card here? Some of us are in love with money, largely due to intentional programming. So this energy can definitely apply to a job as well. Not wanting to separate from a job because it pays you and it allows you to maintain a certain lifestyle, but it's not really the side you want to be on. You would like to perhaps understand abundance as it is internal and radiates out from you instead of looking for external sources for your abundance level. So just think about how it applies in your situation, as I said. Okay? It's applying to a job versus choosing to offer a gift or talent you have on the market for energetic exchange. How can you trust your inherent value in disciplined and nurturing ways that will place you in control over your own abundance, happiness, and peace? That's more so the question today. So I'll leave it there. Let's go ahead and get into Wednesday Soul.
I love that you spoke about that personal empowerment, and self-control. I'm about to get into that as well with Cancer. Like, we be trying to control everything outside of us as a way to distract controlling what actually could be a proactive, constructive channeling of like our desires to control, which is to control ourselves, right? To execute like healthy self-control. We be trying to control everything outside of ourselves. So like, I appreciate you bringing that up. Like, how can you control your own abundance, happiness, and peace? Like, that really is something we have a good amount of control over that we end up giving away. So as we go into Wednesday, June 21st, it is the summer solstice. We got Litha going on. We have the sun entering Cancer. So we're in the second quarter of the astrological year right now. We're transitioning from mutable masculine air with Gemini into cardinal feminine water with this Cancer energy. So we're diving back into our divine feminine. I'm excited. I don't know why. I think maybe like my sister sign is
me
Capricorn.
too.
Yeah, it's just such a beautiful divine feminine energy. And so, I'm just like hyped up, right? We're taking sunset walks along the beach, right? We're howling at the moon. We're eating outside with our loved ones under the stars. We're feeling baby fever, right? We're in the house with a luxurious face mask on. We're, wearing every single chain, even when we're in the house, right? Right? We're decanting our wine, right? We're taking photos of all the memories. We're baking cakes. We're baking bread. We're crying because we're overjoyed. We're crying because we're overwhelmed, right? Welcome to Cancer season, right? This is what we're having in store for us for the next month or so. And so it's a huge family year, right? I think, Empress, you were talking about that so well, about this transition from Gemini to Cancer, about like, maybe getting back to terms with some family members, talking to some family members more, because we also had some Cancer elements going on while the sun was in Gemini. So it was like maybe heart to hearts, or reconciling relationships, or starting new ways of relating with family members. And now we're like investing more of ourselves, right? Think about the summertime. We're celebrating with our biological and chosen families, right? This is the season of cookouts, carnivals, family reunions, long nights, new beginnings, right? So it's important to make it a summer that brings up these warm, nostalgic feelings, right? Cancer is very nostalgic, and it's like, for better or worse, we're going to think back to past times in our lives. And so it's like, let's take control over our ability to make that something that, like, that's a warm, nostalgic memory, right? That summer of 2023, like, I was so intentional, I was so loving, I was so nurturing, I spent that time with people that I really love, right? That people that love me and pour into me. So really quickly, I wanted to go back to read from the book that I read when the sun went into Gemini. So I'll post it in the room chat when I'm done reading. But it's Divine Love Astrology. So it says Cancer is the first sign of the summer, right? Remember, all the cardinal signs initiate the new season of the year. So it's the first sign of the summer, occurring from June 21st to July 21st. In the summer, in nature, the plants that sprouted in the spring come to full bloom and are involved in profuse social interaction with the whole of nature, also in full bloom. Cancer energy is subjective and sympathetic. The fully developed plants, having established their roots, branched out, and developed their survival skills, are now ready for social intercourse and fertilization. Driven by the urge to conjoin and propagate, they now seek comfort and protection within the diverse social community and prepare for their progeny. Cancer is nurturing energy that is receptive, bonding, emotionally sensitive, impressionable, dramatic, feeling, attentive, responsive, supportive, and protective. Cancer allows itself to become involved in life. The fully developed plants have come to understand and relate to the dramas of life and are learning how to handle social interaction. Cancer embraces life with all its dramatic glories, triumphs, trials, and tribulations. Out of Cancer sensitivity grows the physical sense of touch, which I love that, right? Because then that talks about kind of the moon's exaltation in Taurus as well, like how that like the moon being at home in Cancer opens up our ability to cultivate deeper sense of touch, right? One of our five senses, that Taurus energy. So quickly, one more part. It says, this is from a different part in the book. So if you do happen to have the book, I'm on page 197. Metaphorically, emotional wounds are subject to the same principles as physical wounds. Physical wounds must be accepted with the faith that they can and will heal. Emotionally, no grievances, grudges, resentments, or judgment, right? Y'all Cancers be holding grudges for real. Resolves without forgiveness and faith that things can heal. And forgiveness not only relieves the accused, but also frees the accuser, because by those same standards that a person judges another, they too will hold themselves to when it comes time for self-forgiveness. Letting go of the past means learning to accept ourselves, our experiences, and our process of unfolding, and to understand and accept those things in others. Cancer is learning that all healing takes place in the present through forgiveness. Without the ability to forgive, a person will find it difficult to live even with him or herself. The more accepting Cancers can become of others, the more accepting they can become of themselves, which in turn better equips Cancers to accept, relate to, and interact sympathetically with others to bring about emotional resolve. So I thought that passage was really great in explaining like what's going to really be on our heart, right? I can't even say like, oh, what's going to come up. It's like we're feeling this. This is a feminine feeling, the sign that corresponds to the moon. So we're really going to be feeling our way through these feelings of worthiness, of protecting our emotions, of sympathy, of letting go of the past, or having an acceptance and a more beautiful outlook on the past rather than holding grudges. So I'm excited for Cancer season to unfold, and we'll get more into it as the sun begins to aspect other planets. But Empress, I'm really excited to hear about your take on the sun going into Cancer from the tarot.
Yes, I love what you just said because it really just brings into play what we were mentioning for last week's episode of AstroTea. This week was more of like a feelings week, a week where I feel like Divine was having us adjust to our feelings before we come into this Cancer season, because of the intense emotions that have the ability to come up during Cancer. So now on Wednesday, June 21st, we have the sun entering Cancer. Happy birthday, happy solar return to all the Cancers out there. My mom is a Cancer, so shout out to you, Mom. Happy birthday. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful time this season, your season. And in the tarot, this is the sun entering the Chariot and Queen of Cups energy. So today's forecast brings in the cardinal zodiac sign of Cancer, and with the, yes, I love that image or that video, with the sun in the energy of the Chariot, this brings positivity, happiness, energy, and vitality to experience victory and triumph from listening to your intuition. And so far this astrological year, we have really had the opportunity to get the ball rolling when it comes to practicing our superpowers and our emotional awareness. Remember, I was speaking about emotional awareness, emotional maturity, and aligning your divine feminine and masculine energies. We've been saying that for the longest time now. And so with this Queen of Cups here, the more priority you place during Cancer season, the more priority you place in filling your own cup, the more abundance, brightness, and success you will experience. The more you prioritize filling other people's cups, the more happiness and action you will see them experience while you observe and perhaps feel stagnated, like you're stuck in the sand on the beach. Okay? This Cancer season, taking care of you is taking care of your body, taking care of your home, taking care of your emotional state. Do self-care by yourself during Cancer season. Do self-care with loved ones. I don't care if you are a divine masculine representation this lifetime. You can still do self-care. You can still, they have pedicures for men at the salon, at some salons or some nail studios, or you don't even have, whatever self-care means to you. Do self-care by yourself, but also do self-care with loved ones during Cancer season. Book a spa day together. Plan a beach trip. Go for drinks. Cancer is a water sign. Hey, get lit, okay? Responsibly. #responsibly. Okay? Cancer rules the chest. So maybe it's time to shop for some new bras. Get your bestie and you guys go to the bra shop and, just go get refitted, resized, and, treat yourself. Some of you, let's just talk about for a little bit. Emotions. Emotional passion that you're sharing emotionally when it comes to your intimate relationship. We have the Two of Cups as Moon in Cancer, right? We're about to get into Virgo, don't worry. But looking nice in the bedroom for that intimate, connection with loved ones. So I don't want to get into it too much, but doing all of that stuff, going shopping for new clothes maybe during Cancer season, interior decorating, home renovations, and moving homes are also associated with this energy. So that could be the case for you this Cancer season. Cancer energy also relates to the mother energy and divine feminine. So relationships with mothers, relationships with mother figures, relationships to divine feminines could come up. And specifically realizing how your intuition may suggest you initiate with this cardinal energy different actions than what you're known for lately. This time frame also just brings up family, right? When we think of Cancer season, we think of coming into summertime. Summertime. Okay, everyone's going to be listening to the summer vibes. There's summer jams, there's summer song, there's summer anthem. Okay, so getting into that energy. This is family. This is cooking, like Sol mentioned, family that is chosen and family that's just, biological that you were born into. So getting together, cooking, spending time together. So yes, make time for you, like I said before, but also Make time to be with loved ones. And the moon in Virgo for 3 days straight coming up later this week is going to get us together. So don't you worry, honey. Okay, don't you worry. Photography is another one. So creating memories with family and connecting to ancestors as well. Celebrating ancestors and the dishes that we prepare, right? Cooking from like old cookbooks that were passed down from family, making old recipes that our families have had in, that have just been in the family for years and years and passed down. So celebrating ancestors with the dishes, with our cooking, things that we prepare and offer this season. Working with the water as well, whether it's in your bathroom and you're taking a bath, whether it's just working with, when you're taking a shower, whether it's working with water in a cup that you're about to drink. And I was sensing programming water is important for you to do this season. So like maybe some of you want to get into programming your water before you drink it, or just speaking, positive affirmations over it, or at the beach. So when you're at the beach, going into the water and taking time to connect with yourself, with your intuition, with spirit, can all be great things to do. Above all, respect and honor your intuition during Cancer season, because it will nurture you and take care of you, as well as begin summer season helping you to see forward movement and maintaining your regality, as we talked about last week, at least until Leo season, but definitely moving forward. So that's what I'll say about Wednesday. Let's go ahead and get into Thursday, Soul.
Super quick, you brought up you gave me this channel about what foods we should be eating as well. So this is definitely not an exhaustive list, but it makes me think about a resource that I have where I've compiled different foods that are ruled by the moon specifically. So for example, almonds, aloe, beets, cabbage, coconut, cucumber, eucalyptus, grapes, lettuce, melons, what else? Papayas, pomegranates, pumpkins. It's like, that's kind of summary, but potatoes always in season, watermelons. So again, that's not an exhaustive list, but those are things that through certain research that I've done and compiled, like are foods and fruits that correspond directly to the moon or Cancer energy. So with what you said, Empress, about cooking a lot more, we just increase our alignment with the season by also utilizing certain ingredients that are, in season and in alignment with this time. So anywho, as we move on, Thursday, June 22nd, we have Mars in Leo trine Chiron in Aries. So not only is the moon in Virgo a big presence this week, but Chiron in Aries is coming in 2 days this week. So, buckle up for that. So we have Mars in Leo trine Chiron in Aries. So this forecast, right, on Thursday, June 22nd, has the potential to really be an empowering and uplifting day. For many of us in the collective, we've been building ourselves up brick by brick, right? After no's, after rejections, after perceived failures, after humiliation, right? But we're here, we're getting up every day with the willingness to learn, to grow, and to expand, right? And to shine our brightest and to feel aligned with our divine assignment. Someone asked me the other day, what is it like to do astrology consultations? Like, what is that like? And I'm like, you really have to listen to what it is that people want to know. Like, they might ask, like, what job should I be doing? When will I find love? I guess love, career, moving, when am I moving? Or, when's the best time? Like, those are kind of the things that really come up a lot. And it really, first of all, speaks to people's emotional stability, or otherwise just stability in life. But like, dig deeper into that. People just want to feel fulfilled. People want to feel they don't want to feel a sense of dread when they wake up in the morning having to do what the majority of their day is going to be devoted to. They want to feel some sort of alignment, some sort of, hopefully, some joy, right, in doing what you got to do. People just want to feel fulfilled, right? So I think it's like, we wake up with a willingness to figure out what that means, to continue to, Maybe tomorrow I'll feel fulfilled. Maybe tomorrow, like, I'll find that thing. Like, we have this commitment with this Leo energy, a light that can't be put out, right? Even though we've been rejected and burned before. And so all of that pressure, all of that character building has really molded us and trained us into an empathetic, just, and brave leader. We know what it's like to be excluded, what it's like to be shamed, or to be controlled or oppressed by other people. So these experiences have informed the way that we lead and the legacy that we're building, right? How we go about being the entrepreneur, the pioneer, the visionary, right? Our hardships has solidified the way that our confidence to courageously navigate conflict and to both listen to wise counsel as well as trust our own vision. That's what a good leader is able to do, right? Because this is happening at a Libra degree. So we take both in the account. I'm like, cool, y'all are my trusted advisors. I'm gonna listen to what y'all say, but also Spirit is putting this in my heart. And I think this is the way that we should move. So our emotions and our ego can also be very intense and easily triggered, especially because we have the moon in Leo and Lilith in Leo, both conjunct Mars. And this transit could be especially intense for fixed signs, right? Which is funny because for like the year and a half that has been leading up, we've had a lot of fixed squares and T-squares, right, for the past year and a half or so, but the missing element was always Leo. I'm like, cool, we have Aquarius, we got Taurus, we have Scorpio, but Leo was always like the missing part of the square. So now Leo's like, hello, did y'all miss me? I got Venus there, I got Mars there, I got Lilith there, I got the moon there on this day. So it could bring up a lot for fire signs. But it is a trine, so that's not as like intense as it is for probably fixed signs as well. So just keep that in mind. So try to channel your emotional sensitivity proactively, right? With Chiron in the mix, you have the capacity to be a very healing, nurturing, and empowering presence to someone. Or you can also be an antagonistic bully, right? Either way, I know Leo Aries energy very well, and they have the capacity to be very empowering and instill a lot of confidence, or they can really be like an instigator and a bully. So it's up to us to choose, right? But just be mindful of our emotions on this day. So Empress, what does this trine look like on Thursday?
Yes, I was definitely getting that for today. On the 22nd of June, on Thursday, we have Mars, and I was just gonna go straight into the tarot, girl. We have Mars in Leo, trining Chiron in Aries in the tarot. This is the Seven of Wands, trining the Chiron in the Emperor and Queen of Wands. And with today's forecast, the Seven of Wands being in the second house of the Sun, as Sol said, indicates fiery activity when it comes to us standing up for ourselves confidently, or witnessing this energy come up in an environment that we're in today. And this energy having a trine with Chiron and the Emperor suggests that we may feed off each other's intensity and stand our ground passionately with the fire energy of Aries and Leo to support today's transit. So whatever situation we're in or that we're experiencing today, it provides a reminder of childhood, perhaps. It might be a trigger. So you having an argument with someone on this day could trigger you back to a situation that happened in childhood with this Chiron energy as well. And in some way, at least, or to a child that you have right now or that you know right now in the present. With this trine also supporting children or your inner child to know that it is okay to have boundaries. With this Seven of Wands here and the Emperor and the Queen of Wands, today's happening to show you that it's okay for you to have boundaries and defend yourself and your views. But like the Emperor and the Seven of Wands, the difference between those two, one of the energies involves having more experience. One of these energies, from the Seven of Wands to the Emperor, one of them have a bit more experience that has to be respected. So you may be in dynamics or experience dynamics where both people are very passionate, both people have that stubbornness, that ability to stand their ground and be fixed with this Leo energy. But it's also about being real, being real about respect, understanding when respect needs to be given, especially with an adult and child dynamic is what I'm getting as well today. Like children, you're allowed to like empower children to be able to stand up for themselves and to show them through example, but they also need to be able to stand up to you and voicing their own opinions, but be respectful about it as well, given that you are, you know, the emperor and they're the Seven of Wands. And so that could come up today. Definitely doing a workout or something to get your energy exhaustion up is highly recommended. So with the solar plexus, third eye energy of this day, doing abs, doing boxing, any workout that will work your core and your eye coordination is good. I got even working out in the dark, and I love that you mentioned that the moon in Leo is conjunct Mars, because I was like, literally when I was like working out in the dark, and I was like, okay, I'm thinking about the cycle classes, you know, like you can go to a spin class and it's in the dark because you're just stationary on a bike. Okay, cool. But like doing a workout, like an ab workout or boxing or whatever, and it's in the dark, I was like, I've never really just done that. But as soon as that came to me, I was like, I would actually try that, but it will be a definite adjustment. So, you know, if you're open to trying it, try it at your own risk. I have no idea where you're going to be trying this. And so if you decide to give it a try, make sure you have adequate space for whatever exercise you're going to do. But just doing something to exert energy today can be really helpful. Also, you can tell people fiery things and still get the steam off. It's not a choice between, oh, do I cuss them out or do I just hold it in? Like you can tell people fiery things and still get the steam off, but it's how you say it and potentially the breathing techniques that you utilize to do it. So if someone says something to you that instead you want to just like fire back at them, maybe take a breath and be like, okay, before I respond to anyone today, especially these people, I'm going to make sure I give myself a nice big breath. I'm going to fill myself with prana and life force energy before I respond. That will give me time to think about my actions and what I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it. Right? Your creations, dreams, just remember this, your creations, your dreams and actions matter even if they're not recognized fully by others. So confidently move forward, be open and intentional, and don't allow people to bait you out when it comes to them speaking against certain moves that you're making based off of instructions that your intuition has given you that wasn't given to them. So just keep that in mind today. Let's go ahead and get into Friday. So
that part about how we always, you know, we get our own individual instructions. That part. So for Friday, June 23rd, we have the Sun in Cancer sextile the Moon in Virgo, and this might be my favorite transit of the week. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful energy. So not only because we have this sextile between these divine feminine energy, right? Cancer's feminine water, cardinal water, and the Virgo is feminine, mutable earth, right? But on this Venus day, we have, how I interpret it, was both sides of the mother archetype. And I've talked about this before, right? Where we have the nurturer and the accountability partner. Cancer is the vessel from where life itself begins, right? It offers care, protection, love, safety. It's that shell, right? It's that, that aspect of motherhood that is like feeding you, protecting you, right? Giving you life, right? Sustaining life. And then Virgo is the earth expression of motherhood, right? And that divine feminine energy, how it expresses Christ consciousness through devoting our resources to serve humanity and using diligence and standards of excellence to strive for a greater sense of interconnectedness and social foundations tomorrow. So I just think it's just beautiful what these two signs in their purest form aspire to, and want to build and have the capacity to create together in this sextile. So we're in a harmonious flow with the universe to lovingly hold ourselves accountable. Cancer, we could hold ourselves accountable while having a face mask on, right? With the little green juice, right? Taking ourselves on a little retreat, right? To check in, like, how am I doing with my goals? It doesn't have to be like aggressive. We can take ourselves out to the spa or out to a little lunch, right, with our notebook or with our laptop. And divine masculines too, I'm talking to y'all too, I'm talking to everybody, right? We can take ourselves out and pamper ourselves and take inventory, take account. How have things been? Have I been working towards my goals? What do I need to work on? Okay, great. This was a nice little lunch. I feel good. I don't feel dragged. I don't feel called out, but I know and I'm clear on what I got to do next if I'm building towards my goals, right? So it's important for us to implement a process and a procedure with this Virgo energy for how are we going to utilize our resources, right? Whether that's time, energy, our mental capacity, money, whatever it is, right? To take better care of ourselves. How can we revolutionize care in our communities? How can we normalize mutual aid, sharing resources, communing over food together, holding spaces of care and wellness together, right? A book that I want to read this summer is called The Nap Ministry, a manifesto by Trisha Hersey, aka the Nap Bishop. And it's so cool. She has a deck as well of cards that have to do with like radical rest, and I really want to buy her card deck as well. But a quick little summary about the book. It says this book is rooted in spiritual energy and centered in Black liberation, womanism, somatics, and Afrofuturism, with captivating storytelling and practical advice, all delivered in Hersey's lyrical voice and informed by her deep experience in theology, activism, and performance art. Rest is Resistance is a call to action and manifesto for those who are sleep deprived, searching for justice, and longing to be liberated from the oppressive grip of grind culture. So that's something I'm gonna be reading this summer, because I need to figure out as a Capricorn how to have a better relationship with rest and accountability and lovingly holding myself accountable. So that's something that's on my summer reading book list. So we'll see how that goes. I think that really encapsulates this sextile energy here. So it's important for us to cultivate space and time for self-care, because it's going to inform our capacity to hold space for community care as well as community accountability. So that's what I have for this energy. Empress, I'm excited to hear your take on the sextile, especially you having that Virgo energy. Like, what does Virgo bring to Cancer and vice versa?
Yeah, this was definitely feeling like the ultimate self-care day. So I love that you were saying like this feels like such a beautiful day. I was just like, yeah, it really does. Like when I was looking at the energy of the cards, like the sun is here, we have the High Priestess and the Queen of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles is here, the Chariot. Like, it's a nice day. So for Friday, June 23rd, we have the sun in Cancer, sextile the moon in Virgo. And this starts off literally like a 3-day moon in Virgo series to end out the week. In the tarot, this is the sun in the Chariot and Queen of Cups to represent the sun in Cancer, sextiling the High Priestess in the Hermit and Knight of Pentacles to represent moon in Virgo. And with today's forecast on Friday, there's an honesty and truth we have to speak based on the analysis of personal growth and development on a spiritual level, mental, physical, and emotional scale. We have to do that analysis of our personal growth and development in those areas of our life. The Hermit is more interested in what they can learn about whatever the focus is on, especially to gain knowledge, insight, and understanding in the tarot. So where can I grow? Says the Hermit. Do I need to focus on myself and be in my own company to develop better habits? And with this energy sextiling the sun in the Chariot, today is a totally rad day to do something just for you. It's also a Venus day today. So that's even more confirmation for you to book a service. And let it be for your mind, body, spirit, or a mix of the three, right? You can book a therapy session today. You can book a reading today. You can book a massage today. You can go get a mani-pedi, go get your hair done. Go and, take yourself on a date to the library. And like Soul just said, read a book. that's about self-care so you can connect with the energy more. Buy a book on Divine Feminine. I bought such a beautiful book on the Divine Feminine and a matching deck. I'll have to get the name to you guys. I think I showed you so when I got it. Yeah, I need to take a picture and or like mention it in the next episode or something. But yeah, buy yourself a book, something that's going to help you connect with this Divine Feminine energy a bit more, or understand the Divine Feminine energy to work with it more. You know, take yourself on a mini date today to a spot that you love and buy yourself a drink. You don't have to go and splurge, you know, buy yourself a drink, whether it's alcoholic or non-alcoholic. Okay, I love a good mojito, non-alcoholic mojito, strawberry daiquiri. Get you a Shirley Temple with the cherry inside for fancy, you know. So it can be alcoholic or non-alcoholic, but buy yourself a drink today, or go to a restaurant and order in and enjoy at home. This is also a great day to check your schedule. We have this Virgo energy. You know I was going to bring it up. This is a great day to check your schedule and how much it incorporates weekly self-care days. How often do you have self-care woven into your calendar? Is it a weekly thing? What is your self-care day? Do you have a self-care day? Could you be more consistent with the day you already set? Some of you might be like, yeah, I already have a day. It's Friday. Yeah, mine's Friday too. But some Fridays, self-care day is not self-care day. Self-care day is like finishing everything before the weekend day. Okay, so could you be more consistent with the day you already set for your self-care day? Maybe these are some questions that can bring clarity with today's transit. Emotional organization. That is the phrase for today. Emotional organization. Because you need to prioritize you and have those self-care days, but also not be negligent towards any of your responsibilities or things that you're of service to reasonably. We have moon transits specifically in Virgo for 3 days. So the High Priestess and the Hermit and the Knight of Pentacles are getting us in order, coming right into Cancer season. The Sun entered Cancer on the 21st, and we already on the 23rd after Chiron have Moon and Virgo literally on us. So we have the opportunity to really maximize Cancer season if we can tap into the energy of these last 3 days of the week. But I'll leave it there for Friday. Let's get into the weekend, so.
Absolutely. I appreciate that analysis about developing better habits and a schedule. And that's what I was going to say. I did that yesterday. I actually went out yesterday and got myself a little drink. There's a bar that's named after Hecate. So like all the drinks are like spells and potions, and the menu's like very like witchy. Yeah. So like it's really cool, like how they put the incantations. Like I tried to go like 2 weeks ago and the bar was like full, but I was able to get a seat last night, and it felt cute to just go out and be out in this witchy environment. They were saging the place too, had candles. Like it was crazy. Yeah,
that sounds cool. Like a cool experience. Wow.
Yeah, so when you said that, I was like, hey, I feel like ever since we've done AstroTea, my life is always like a week ahead anyway, so I'm like, that makes sense, because I did that yesterday. So it was fun. Definitely solo dates and taking yourself out and, you know, getting a little drink. That's all I really did. I went, got a drink, went home. But it was fun. So I definitely encourage it to take yourself out. You know, you can't wait around for these experiences. Cancer is about creating, right? Creating them for yourself, right? So as we get into the weekend, Saturday, June 24th, we have the moon in Virgo, like Empress said, is here to stay, and it's in conjunct Chiron and Aries. So accountability leads to personal development and personal freedom. So I was like, damn, when Spirit gave me that, I was like, shit. Because if you live your life in a way where you're willing to take accountability for all your actions, you're free. That's it. You can live as free as you want and as you please, right? Because you can feel content and inner alignment when you make choices like, am I about to do this? Yeah, I'll take accountability for that. Okay. You know, fuck it, do it, right? We're dealing with Aries energy here as well. Chiron is in like, you know, I can heal through this experience. I can learn through this experience. I can develop myself personally through this experience. Let's do it. I'm not scared, right? I can take accountability for it. So it's like when we're willing to take accountability for these things, we release guilt, shame, judgment, regret, all of these things that are going to kind of be a challenge for us during Cancer season, because we're willing to just take accountability in that moment. So there isn't a need to like process or grieve or like go through it and mull over again, because we went into it saying like, yeah, I'll accept the consequences. I'm grown, right? So also on this day, we may have a conversation with our mother or like a mother type of figure in our life that is unexpected, right? This in conjunction here, right? It's like unexpected or not predicted, or like it kind of came out of nowhere, and it gets us together as much as it triggers us, right? Because we know that the truth hurts a lot. So we may have this, if it's not our mother directly, it's this archetype of someone, like we all hopefully have a woman like that in our lives. As like annoying as it could be, it's the woman who's like, I know you, this is not you. Why are you making these decisions? You out here spending money on this, and that. I thought you said you wanted to do this. You said you was going to do this 6 months ago. You just out here lollygagging, and you're like, damn, I just called you for this. I didn't call you for a lecture, right? But you're like, oh, fuck, they're right. That's why I'm so triggered, right? Chiron and Aries. That's why I'm so hurt. That's why I'm so like, upset, because I understand that this is someone, I'm blessed to have someone who has my best intention at heart. Right? They may not be, with this Aries Virgo energy, they may not be the most tactful in delivering it, but they have their best intention at heart, and that's a blessing, right? So with all this Leo energy in the background, as long as we're willing to keep our ego in balance, we can grow from a lot of these opportunities that the universe is presenting to us at this time. We just got to be willing to like grow and take take it like an adult, take it like someone who can take accountability and be like, damn, you are right. Yeah, I didn't meet this goal. I have been slacking. These habits aren't aligned with what I'm saying I want to do. Ouch, that hurts. Let me do better. That's it. That's all accountability. Yeah, you are right. Let me do better. And waking up every day with the intent of just being better than we were the day before. That's really it. It's a marathon, not a sprint, okay? So Empress, what's your take on Saturday?
I was getting the same thing, girl. Literally, for the 24th on Saturday, we have the moon in Virgo, day 2, right? In conjunct Chiron and Aries. And in the tarot, this is the High Priestess in the Hermit and Knight of Pentacles energy, in conjunct Chiron and the Emperor and Queen of Wands. And with today's forecast, the High Priestess and the Hermit is like having a pleasant conversation where you can relate with the hard work. Like you're talking about hard work, they're talking about hard work, and like what it takes to see progress in your personal growth journey. This is like having a pleasant conversation where you both have accepted the accountability that life asks for and providing that, or having an unpleasant conversation where you're realizing that avoiding the work is only making this spiritual war more intense for you when it doesn't have to be. And today's question is, how do you deal with jealousy? That came up for me for some reason. How do you deal with jealousy? Do you see jealousy as an indication to wish bad on another person? Or do you see jealousy as a clue, confirming your path and what is also meant for you? And with the Queen of Wands and the Emperor, I see their relationship as if the Queen of Wands is the Emperor's mother. Like when I was looking at these cards for today's transit, I've never seen the Queen of Wands and Emperor related in that way before today. And I was like, oh, the Queen of Wands is like the Emperor's mom. And the son exceeded the mother in title. He didn't just stay a page, or he didn't just stay a king on the court. He exceeded the mother in title and the father in title. Some of us may have relationship dynamics with a mother figure that wants to remain in a more powerful position than you. And even though the Queen of Wands could be an empress, she's mature enough to understand how to use her passionate energy to nurture the seed and nurture herself, and allow herself to receive the fruits of her labor when done with the correct intention and energy. So some of us may have had all the support in the world growing up as well on the other end of this energy, but we're pursuing an industry or profession or dream that this feminine energy that was with us in childhood doesn't agree with. And so even though you're isolating and focusing on your mastery, that is somewhat of an emotional wound to you. The fact that you don't have the support right now of a feminine energy that was there for you when you were a child. So either whichever one fits your situation, but I was getting both. Definitely take a glance as well at what house Virgo is in for you during these 3 days, and the other zodiac signs aspecting. So like we have Aries today, we had Cancer yesterday, tomorrow we have Gemini. So look at those houses as well, just to see what might be going on a deeper level, a more personal level for you. But I'll leave it there to wrap up the week and get onto Sunday.
I was laughing because Jen put a comment. She said, do Chiron go anywhere else besides Aries? And I'm like, right?
For real. Chiron's been in Aries since AstroTea was established, basically, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Chiron's been in Aries super long.
So that's like funny to think about, like the whole time we've been doing AstroTea, that's like a transit that has not go anywhere. But it says on February 17th, 2019, Chiron will re-enter Aries once again and remain there for the next 7 years or so through June 19th, 2026. It will then head into Taurus. And those who were born between 1976 and 1984 will begin to experience their Chiron return, which happens around like 50 years old. Chiron's going to pop back into Aries for a final wrap up on September 18th, 2026, and remain there for an additional 7 months. So April 14th, 2027 is officially when Chiron will be in Taurus to stay. So it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And it's kind of going to be crazy when Neptune and Saturn are in Aries and they start interacting with Chiron. Listen, that's why I keep saying we playing softball right now with these transits. We're trying to help y'all. We're trying to help ourselves. We're trying to learn these planets and these patterns and these systems, because all this energy that's in Aries that's coming up, it's a whole different ball game. So as we close out the week, keeping it short and sweet for Sunday, June 25th, we have the moon in Virgo squaring Mercury in Gemini. And again, I love this transit because we have Mercury in the masculine expression in Gemini and the moon in the feminine expression of Mercury, which is Virgo. So we have here intuitive analysis, which is Virgo, versus factual information, Gemini. Being present in our bodies is important for us to filter the truth. Right? That's what I was overall getting for this day. I think our minds can be like, why did they do that? Why did they say that? Are they lying? Are they telling the truth? Do I have all the facts? Do I really know that? Can I really prove that? But then Virgo is kind of like, no, I'm present in my body and I'm using my intuition. I'm listening to the things that they don't say. I'm listening to the way that they move their bodies, their body language, right? I'm intuitively picking up on like, is there authenticity behind what's being said, or is this a lie, right? I also got, because this is happening at a Taurus degree, people lying about money or resources, or like people, I got specifically like people lying about money and resources that they actually have at their disposal that they're claiming that they like don't, or things like that. Also, stolen necklaces or jewelry. It's interesting, that transit, I was thinking like that transit that I got like I think 2 weeks ago about being careful about stolen jewelry if you go out. I was like, maybe on this day someone finds out who stole it or who took it, something like that. And it's happened very intuitively, like even without all the facts or the information, you were able to be like, no, I know this person stole my necklace. And with the moon in Virgo in the 3rd house of the sun, you give them a call and they're like, how did you know that? Like they might not say, how did you know that? But like based on their answer, you can intuitively be like, yeah, they took it, you know, something like that. Some crazy, like, you know, situation like that. So information being revealed through channels, through dreams, through synchronicity, right? Someone happens to maybe like they leave a notebook open or their mail on the table, right? These like Gemini things, or you're you don't know, someone else doesn't know that you can listen on to their conversation, and they're just talking some mess because they think that no one else can like hear them talking, things like that. Serendipitously finding out information and truth. And also, lastly, I got having a conversation about magic and witchcraft and spiritual beliefs. I was definitely getting that, especially with someone who has a very different set of values. It could be someone who's traditionally Christian or of a completely different faith, and like you have a conversation about magic and ceremonial magic and rituals and witchcraft and what is witchcraft and working with herbs and working with deities and stuff like that, and really being able to have hopefully a productive conversation on your like spiritual beliefs and spiritual value systems. So that's what I'm getting for Sunday. Empress, you can take us home and close us out.
Yes, so on June 25th, we are ending the week out on Sunday with the moon in Virgo squaring Mercury in Gemini. And in the tarot, this is the High Priestess in their helmet and Knight of Pentacles squaring the Eight of Swords energy. This is like a conversation or an argument going on inside your own head about all that you have to do, all that you haven't done, and why you feel discouraged to make a move. But this is also like you being able to block out the unproductive thoughts and prioritize and take action on the productive thoughts. So today will show you a direct result of your progress so far based on which mental situation is going on with you today. Kind of like the principal printing out a progress report after examination with this High Priest in the helmet. This is day 3 of the moon in Virgo. And so the moon in Virgo has been analyzing, been writing on the pen pad, and now there are literally grades that are coming out on Sunday that will only be known through what you're experiencing. So based on your results from the past couple of days, we'll be given an analysis that will be shown to us in how we're able to handle this day and keep our heads enough to get things done and not get stressed or anxious in our daily tasks and responsibilities. And with the Virgo energy, do you notice any areas where you're doing too much work for others? Because when we deal with Virgo, we're dealing with service. So with this energy, do you notice any areas where you are doing too much work for others? And that the work you're doing for others is what is stressing you out mentally. The work that you have to do for other people is what's causing you mental anxiety and stress. And if you stop doing too much for others, for some of you, that would alleviate mental stress from you. Some of us need to pull our energy from so many obligations that don't have to do with our personal goals with this Hermit card as well, closing out this week. We've had a week of feeling from the week of June 12th, where now we have the new moon in Gemini today, which is hopefully allowing us to enter new cycles of communication with our internal twins, with our internal self, our internal lovers, and outside conversations that we're having with loved ones, with colleagues, with everyone that we're communicating with externally. So now we're closing out on the 25th in this energy of knowing, okay, this is where I can emotionally afford to exert time and energy while also taking care of self. It's Cancer season by Sunday the 25th next week. So us being able to now look at our schedule and say, okay, now my self-care day is Friday. Now my self-care day is always going to be Friday. I want to make sure that I talk to my parents every day, or my dad or my mom every day. So what time of day does that fit in? Right? Scheduling in time, emotional organization. Like I mentioned that phrase, I think it was for Friday. Emotional organization, self-care for you, and doing things that you love and expressing love with people that you love without doing too much for them. So definitely coming into that realization, ending out the week of forecasts for next week. That's all the tea we brewed for this week. Thank you all so much for joining us for another Cosmic Forecast. This episode meant so much for us. So we're so grateful that each and every one of you could join us today. And may this upcoming week empower you to heal, grow, and thrive. And don't forget to check out our available links so that you can join the email list, order your AstroTea products, and book your personal consultation with us. We love you all and thank you. Have a terrific week.